the R sound is unfortunately a bit difficult in German. However, I have some good news. Firstly, very often we don't pronounce an R at all. So if you think of my name, Werner, you cannot hear a single R in it, okay? We vocalize it, that's the fancy term for it. You have learned that before in another video. Please make sure to watch that, because that's an important feature of the German language, this vocalized R. If you actually pronounce an R in these instances where you should not pronounce it, it sounds very weird in German ears, okay? The other thing is, basically any R in German will do. So whether you have a Spanish R, r, or a Russian R, r, at the tip of the tongue, or you have the French R, r, in the back, or this frictional R, 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 all these R's are okay because we have regional differences in Germany. In the south of Germany, most people say the R with the tip of the tongue. In the north, they have more this frictional or the French version. We pronounce it a little bit different. I will talk about that in a minute. But basically, if you know any of these R's, then you can just move on with this R, okay? The only R that really doesn't work is the American R. So if you say like teacher or father or something like that, that's not a real R. It's actually something that is also somehow vocalized. It's a bit more in a relationship with that. This unfortunately will not do. So if you cannot make a Spanish R or French R or any other R, then unfortunately you will have to learn one. Again, which R you pick is not so important because there are the regional differences. However, if you want to go for a Spanish R, for example, the typical feature of the Spanish or also Eastern European R is that it goes many times. When they say in Spanish something like Barcelona, okay, it's like it goes many times up and down. In German, no, just once, okay? Rede, Rachen, okay? I go up once. So if you know how to make a Spanish R, Russian R, Czech R, then practice saying it in German only once, okay? Not like 15,000 times. Same for the French R. Usually when we pronounce it in French, it's pretty distinct. We say something like Paris, like it goes many times. In German, it's just short. We would say Paris, okay? Just like once or twice or three times maybe, but like just short and a little bit discreet. So you can also go with a French R if you prefer this. Or you go with the r with this, well, it works basically like on the tip of your tongue, but in the back. That's the R I use personally, which is a bit weird because I come from the south of Germany, but I don't speak the R with the tip of the tongue. I learned that only when I learned to speak Czech, which like the Czech Republic is neighboring here, and I wanted to learn that. And there you, unfortunately, you have to have the R at the tip of your tongue, so I went to a speech therapist and learned it. But the R I use is the one that is at the K position, regen. Okay, great. If you know none of these R's, which ones do I recommend? I would go for either the French or the one that I use, because the one at the tip of the tongue is a little bit difficult. It is actually made at the T position, so where you say da, 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 da. Okay, what you would have to practice is to say da, 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 and try to avoid having air go through, okay? Because when we say t, then there is air that is coming through. And what we do to learn the R that we use at the tip of the tongue is we stop the airflow. Da, 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 da. Okay? This is something you have to practice some 15,000 times, and then eventually the tongue will be flexible enough to like move very, very fast. Okay, again, this would be something for another video. I suggest that unless you have learned this R from before, it's a little bit difficult. I would go either probably for the French one. How do we do the French one? We take a glass of water, or if you're French, then you take a glass of wine, and we take a little bit, and then we do this. Okay, that is the position of the R. Okay, it is actually the same position as the ah sound, but with the ah sound, I always taught you that the tongue has to be down. Now it goes a little bit up in the back of the mouth. Okay, so do that with the water and then try it without the water. That's basically the way to go. This might take you some time. It might take you days, it might take you weeks, and that's fine. Just do it like twice a day, in the morning, in the evening, when you're in the bathroom. Yeah, you don't even need a mirror for it. Actually, you can just do it yourself without anybody watching or listening. And after a while, you will see that this actually works. The other alternative is the R that I use, and it is at the position of the K. So when I say ko, 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 okay, this is the position where you would say the R, and the principle is a bit the same. The tongue loosens a little bit, and you push a bit more air. Okay, kuro, 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 kuro. Okay. Again, my suggestion is try one of those two. Feel free to do it for a few days and then pick the one that you think is a little bit easier. If you go for the French version R, I suggest that really first you practice it completely separate, without combination or without combining it with another sound. If you go for the KR, I suggest you practice it with the letter U. Okay. Once that works, practice it with other vowels. So you want to have a vowel before and a vowel after. So for example, re, ra, ro, ru, re, 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 ri, and so on. This might take some time, of course, again, because you might see that some combinations work well and other combinations might not work so well. Okay, then try the same with the vowel before. Ar, er, and so on. And when that works, then please practice it with consonants, like for example, tre, tra, tro, or if you go for the K sound, tre, tra, tro. Okay, again, this has been a very short video. Unfortunately, this will take some time, but that's absolutely fine. When you're learning a language, you study the vocabulary for years, you study the grammar for years. Please do not make any shortcuts with the pronunciation. It's absolutely fine to spend some weeks, maybe even months. So when I was learning the Czech R, the r, and then this so-called r sound that is also very peculiar in the Czech language and sounds weird if you cannot make it, it took me, I think, 2 or 3 months, and I went to the speech therapist once a week. Okay, but that was 25 years ago, and now I'm happy that I'm able to do it, because once you know it, it stays for the rest of your life. So please come back to this video many times, practice it many times, and of course feel free to share your comments if you're stuck somewhere, and maybe we can sort it out.